Oil spill. This phrase churns the stomach of most everyone. Not again, we think. Oily birds and otters on the coast, doomed to die a grisly death.
Beaches fouled with oil, requiring endless cleanup. Big messes on land where a pipeline leaks or a derrick gushes out of control.
The usual questions raised by ecological catastrophes apply to this one. Why do oil spills even occur? Can't they be prevented?
And what meaning do oil spills hold for global warming?
It's no wonder that oil is used for energy. This chart shows the energy density, i.e. bang for the buck, of various fuels.
The unit here is megajoules per kilogram. A megajoule could cook up several plates of food, and a kilogram is 2.2 pounds, not much.
For most of humanity's existence, wood was used for cooking and heating. Wood was better than nothing, but not good enough for humanity to really take off.
Coal, a sedimentary rock, was discovered to be flammable, and because its energy density is twice that of wood, it was widely adopted as a fuel, and humanity advanced.
Oil was first drilled in 1859, a well called the Drake, located in Pennsylvania, making Titusville, PA, the birthplace of the petroleum industry, as well as the site of the first oil spill. Messy as oil was, humanity can't be faulted for adopting it as a fuel, as its energy density is half again more than that of coal.
While we're on this chart, two more observations. One, natural gas has an even higher energy density, so again, humanity can't be faulted for using natural gas.
Two, hydrogen fuel appears to beat everything on this chart, by a lot, begging the question, could it replace fossil fuels? Hydrogen fuel is the reaction of hydrogen gas with oxygen gas to form water vapor, which releases energy. Carbon-free, it would seem to be an ideal alternative to fossil fuels.
Unfortunately, although hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, its form on Earth is mostly as liquid water, not as H2 gas. Splitting H's and O's from water requires energy, which makes hydrogen fuel more like a battery than a primary fuel to replace coal, oil, and natural gas.
An early oil spill in America happened in 1910 in California, the Lakeview Gusher, which gushed for 18 months and spilled 9 million barrels of oil, then and still now the largest oil spill in U.S. history.
What a decade the 19-teens was for ecological catastrophes in the U.S. The largest oil spill ever,
Automobile engine knock had to be solved,
the largest forest fire ever,
the American chestnut was dying off,
the passenger pigeon did die off,
and World War I made overplowing the Great Plains seem reasonable.
More recently, the 1969 Santa Barbara spill, 100,000 barrels, galvanized the environmental movement. Then, the 1989 Exxon Valdez spill in the Gulf of Alaska, 260,000 barrels, really ticked off America. The 2010 Deepwater Horizon spill in the Gulf of Mexico lost 5 million barrels, the biggest spill in the U.S. since 1910.
Not to downplay these oil spills, but individually they don't qualify as great ecological catastrophes because their geographic scopes weren't all that large. The Dust Bowl involved the Great Plains, truly massive.
The passenger pigeon ranged over half of North America, as did the American elm. Damaging forest fires are taking place across the entire American West.
Lead contamination is global. By comparison, oil spills are mere blips on the catastrophes map.
Therefore, the catastrophe of oil spills isn't any single spill, but rather it's that spills occur everywhere all the time, and the fact that humanity is stuck on oil, or as President Bush put it,
and here we have a serious problem. America is addicted to oil.
The answer to the question, can spills be avoided, is not until humanity gets unstuck from oil, which would also solve the current reality of adding fossil CO2 to the atmosphere and risking catastrophe from global warming.
Sounds good, but what are the alternatives to fossil fuels for creating energy? Again, President Bush.
The best way to break this addiction is through technology. To change how we power our homes and offices, we will invest more in zero-emission coal-fired plants, revolutionary solar and wind technologies, and clean, safe nuclear energy. We must also change how we power our automobiles. We will increase our research in better batteries for hybrid and electric cars and in pollution-free cars that run on hydrogen.
Where do alternatives sit currently in the mix of energy production? This chart shows two inescapable realities. One, fossil fuels account for about 3/4 of all energy consumption globally.
And two, this has been true for decades. No single alternative is contributing much to energy. So what are the prospects for their playing a bigger role in the future?
Biomass. Wood can be burned to generate electricity, which could help reduce fuel loading in western forests and thereby lower the risk of intense tree-killing fires.
True, burning wood results in emission of CO2, but this is little more than recycling modern CO2 back and forth between trees and the atmosphere, not the same thing as the unidirectional emission of CO2 from fossil fuels.
However, the energy density of wood is still low, so it's unlikely that humanity would go back to wood to meet its energy demands.
Nuclear, carbon-clean nuclear power has played a role in energy production globally, but not much of a role. Nuclear could play a bigger role from more, though smaller, nuke plants, a concept called mini-nukes.
But nuclear power produces toxic waste that persists for centuries. It's unlikely that humanity would turn to mini-nukes in a big way.
Hydropower. Also carbon-clean, hydroelectric power is considered free after incurring the cost of building dams. Unfortunately, multiple environmental impacts result from dams, such as preventing rivers from reaching their terminuses, thereby killing delta ecosystems.
If anything, dams are being taken out these days, so hydro is not likely to contribute more to energy production.
Wind. Carbon clean yet again, wind turbines can produce electricity. Turbines get a bad rap for killing birds, though house cats and windows kill way more birds.
A bigger limitation of turbines is the intermittency of wind. No wind means no electricity. So backup plans would have to be in place for wind to play a bigger role in energy.
Solar. Pop quiz. How much energy does the sun provide Earth compared to what humanity uses? Answer. About 6,000 times more.
Abundant as it is, incoming solar radiation is hard to use directly, but photovoltaics and concentration techniques can convert the sun's rays into electricity, and lots of it.
Batteries are already good enough to store and distribute that electricity, so the fact that solar is playing only a minor role globally in energy production must be due to other reasons. Solve those, and solar could satisfy much of humanity's electricity needs without emitting carbon.
A factor involved in not adopting alternatives to oil is the status quo effect, i.e., the tendency to keep doing things the way they've always been done rather than changing. Indeed, status quo is a commonality of ecological catastrophes.
The Great Plains were plowed up because plowing was how farming was always done, and the Dust Bowl happened.
Pigeons were killed because killing was always done, and the passenger was driven to extinction.
DDT was sprayed to save the American elm because dominating nature, especially insects, has always been a thing, and environmental quality of neighborhoods was compromised.
Fire was eliminated from western forests because fire has always been considered bad, and now uncontrollable conflagrations occur every year.
Smog, including airborne lead, was accepted as the price of progress, and health and well-being of individuals was diminished.
Humanity has been stuck on oil for a long time, so oil spills have been inevitable.
Fossil fuels have dominated the energy portfolio for decades, and it is very difficult to alter that status quo.
On the other hand, the status quo was broken in all past catastrophes, from which we should take hope now.
Breaking the addiction to oil is not impossible. Doing so would end oil spills as well as avoid the catastrophe of global warming.